Hi, Jasmine. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Before getting started, I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Adriana, and I have been in the counseling psychology field for the past 2 years. Um, I do specialize in marriage and family therapy, but I also do individual therapy as well. Um, and then the population I work with is 25 years to 65 years.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Nice to meet
Um,
you.
And then also I wanted to get your date of birth.
So my date of birth is December 1st, 1995.
Okay. All right. And do you go by she and her pronouns?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to double check on that. Thank you. And then have you ever been to therapy before?
Um, no, I haven't.
Okay. Would you like me to describe what therapy is so you have an understanding?
Yes, please.
Okay. So what therapy is just, like a safe space for you and I to talk about anything that you might be going through. It's a place where there's no judgments. I'm not here to judge you. I am here to help you. I'm not necessarily here to fix your problems for you, but I'm here to guide you in a way that will help you better resolve whatever you're going through. I am here as a partner in a way to help you get through whatever you're going through. And then everything that you tell me does remain confidential. And what that means is just everything that you tell me will never leave our safe space unless it does have to do with you harming yourself or others, because I am a mandated reporter, so I'm legally obligated to report that if you do that, or if you tell me that you want to do that for your own safety as well as the safety of others. Do you have an
Okay.
understanding of everything I just told you?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So why don't we talk about what brought you in today?
So, I've been feeling really sad, um, pretty much for a while now, I guess, and I decided to come to therapy because my friend, she pulled me to the side and she just kind of said that she noticed that I haven't really been myself and that I've been kind of distant. So she just recommended that I give it a try because, like I said, I've never been to therapy before, but she thinks that it could help. So decided
Okay.
to come.
Okay. Well, I'm really happy that you're here, and this is a really good first step. And I want to go back a little bit. You said that your friend wanted you to come to therapy, correct? Because you're feeling a little sad.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you elaborate a little bit more on why you're feeling this way, possibly?
So I've just been super lonely, um, depressed. I've just been feeling really sad lately. So I live in Las Vegas, and I've lived here for about the last 3 years. Um, and all my family is originally from Ohio. So I don't really see my family that much. And so, the holidays just passed, and it's just been really tough for me not being able to really see anybody, especially like with the pandemic. But I mean, even before the pandemic, I didn't really go home a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been I've probably seen like my friends and my family maybe like 3 times over the last 3 years,
Oh, wow.
which is, yeah, like a big change from seeing them every day when I lived in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's just been really hard. My ex-boyfriend recently just got engaged to another woman, and it's been difficult. We were together for about 6 years, but we broke up 3 years ago. Um, and I know that's 3 years is a long time, but it's still just kind of difficult, I guess, finding out that he just got engaged to somebody else, because I didn't want the relationship to end. But yeah, it's just been a lot, and I've been having like just not good thoughts about myself. Um, like I just don't feel attractive. I've gained a lot of weight um, since I moved to Las Vegas. And
Mhm.
so I'm not really happy with my appearance. So I don't go out like a lot. But I mean, I don't really have to either because, well, especially with the pandemic, people aren't really going out anyway. But before the
Mhm.
pandemic, um, I was working from home anyway.
Mhm.
So I'm pretty much home by myself 24/7 because I work from home. And like I said, I don't really have any friends here, so I don't really go places. Um, and so it's just been a lot, especially recently because I wasn't able to go home for Christmas or New
Yeah.
Year's. So I've just kind of been sitting here with my own thoughts, and I guess my friends back home are starting to notice because I haven't really been talking to them as much and just kind of isolating myself.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, so this is a lot of good information though that I think will be really helpful moving forward. So I'm gonna go back and talk about a little bit of what you just told me. So you had let me know that this has basically been going on. Your symptoms have been going on for 3 years. You're feeling lonely and depressed and not really yourself. Um, and then you don't really feel as attractive as you used to, and you're not really going out anymore. And what has come with that is you don't really have friends or family, and you broke up with your boyfriend that you have been together for 6 years, right?
Hmm.
And then, and even though it's been 3 years, when you don't like have a good support system, you do kind of dwell on what you had, you know. So maybe that's what's going on too. So it's just this feeling of isolation and loneliness is just really affecting you, especially during the pandemic where you're unable to travel. So it must be
Yeah.
very difficult for you. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and I did want to ask, were you really close to your family?
Yeah, we're pretty close. Like I have my mom and dad back home. And I have one younger sister. But we're pretty close. Like I would see them all the time when I did live in Ohio, but that was just because like we were all in the same place. Since I moved, I talk to them like on the phone maybe like once every 2 weeks, but sometimes I just like don't answer because I don't feel like being bothered. Um,
Yeah.
but most of that is when I'm like in my sad feelings and I just don't want to talk to anybody. Um,
Right.
but I haven't really talked to them about how I've been feeling just because I don't want them to worry. And
Mhm.
like I once I graduated college, I decided to move to Las Vegas
Mhm.
because I didn't want to go home. So
Yeah.
uh, I wanted to try something new, but obviously it's not what I thought it would be.
Right.
Um, but I don't want them to worry because, like I said, like this was something that I chose. So I don't want them to like, oh, come home, and I've like been building a life here for like the last 3 years. So I don't want to feel like I'm giving up, if that makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah. No, it does make sense. And when you are in those sad feelings and you're feeling isolated and you don't want to talk to anybody, are you feeling any feelings of wanting to harm yourself?
So I I wouldn't say that I'm suicidal. I've never tried to kill myself before.
Mhm.
Um, but what I will say is there are times when I get super sad and I just wish that I wasn't here anymore. Like I said, I would never kill myself, but there are times where I just wish that I would like go to sleep and just not wake up because I mean that would just be easier than having to deal with this every day. But will I ever hurt myself? Absolutely not. Um, like I said, I've gotten super sad, but I know that if I were to kill myself, that would like devastate my family,
Right.
and I just wouldn't be able to do that to them.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, that's really good to hear that you would never, do that to yourself. Would it be because of other factors as well? Like, are you religious? Do
Yeah.
you have any
So
kids?
I don't have any children, but I am religious and I do consider myself to be a Christian. And I mean, it is debatable, but I just feel like I don't want to kill myself because, killing anyone can land you in hell. So,
Right.
I mean, I
Yeah.
just would rather be safe than sorry.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. And then when you do have these feelings though, do you have any coping strategies, whether they're bad or good, to deal with those moments?
I will say that I have been drinking a lot um, when I am sad because I'm just trying to perk myself up. Um, I do smoke marijuana, and most of the time I just try to distract myself. Like I said, I work from home, and I sell insurance like over the telephone, but I also have like a side business where I like create clothing, and I have uh, this site that you can go on and you make money. People donate to you, and all you do is just talk to them. So
Mhm.
I do that sometimes, but most of the time, like when I feel sad, I'll have a drink and then I'll try to distract myself by doing something else, like making
Mhm.
some clothes or um, getting on social media. But I'm rarely ever sober when I do that. So
Okay. So let's kind of dive into that a little bit more. How often are you drinking and using marijuana? Because I know it's every
um,
time you're sad.
at least 3 times a week, at least. But sometimes it's more. But I try to be conscious of it because I know that it's not a good thing. So there are
Mhm.
some like, you've been drunk the last 2 days. I think today is just a day where I need to cry. So that'll just be a crying day because I understand that it can turn into like a big problem. Um,
Mhm.
but right now it's the only coping mechanism that I have. So yeah,
Okay.
I'd say about 3 times a week.
And going forward, we can always come up with new coping strategies that will help you when you're feeling this way and help you better cope and kind of move up from there.
Okay.
Um, but I know that you said 3 times a week, and whenever you're feeling sad, and I know that you said that you work from home. Does the drinking and the use of marijuana ever inhibit your ability to work?
Um, for the most part, no. I feel like I've built up a discipline to where I don't drink or anything while I have to work like during the day. It's more so like after I get off work, um, whether I had a good day at work or a bad day at work, just like if I start to have those thoughts and I know like I don't have anything else that I absolutely need to do,
Hmm.
then why not just get drunk? Because I mean, it'll help with the sadness. But
Yeah.
yeah, it hasn't affected my work. Um, and yeah, I don't see it being a problem because I know like I have to live, so I can't lose my job.
Right. Right. And that makes sense. And I did want to ask, how long have you been using drinking and marijuana as coping strategies?
Um, I would say this heavily for maybe like the last 2.5 years. I want to say because like when I first moved to Las Vegas, like I said, I had just graduated from college. I was super excited to like be starting this new life in this new place. And after about like 6 months after I moved, I just started to feel like it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. But
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, I've only been here 6 months. Like, let's just stick it out. I met a few people um, and hung out with them, but it ended up not working out. So I don't really have contact with them anymore. But during like that time that we were hanging out, we were doing a lot of drinking and a lot of smoking, and
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of like when it started because
Mm-hmm.
it was just the easiest thing to do.
Was that kind of like the first time that the drinking and the marijuana use has been introduced in your life for, to cope? Like, did it ever come up in your family, or did it ever come up in your life growing up?
Um, so No, I don't have anyone in my family that with like a history of alcoholism or anything like that.
Okay.
No one in my family really does drugs.
Mhm.
I didn't get well, I didn't start smoking marijuana until I got to college.
Mhm.
Um, and it was more social to like
Mhm.
on the weekends when I like went out with my friends and stuff like that. And it never was like, oh, I'm sad, let me do this. It was more
Mhm.
so like, okay, I want to have fun, let's do this.
Mhm. And I did want to go back a little bit to your education just to get some information so I can put it all together for you. Um, so I know that you did say that you did go to college. Did you
Hmm.
end up graduating from there?
Yeah, so I
Okay.
went to um, Cincinnati State University, and I got my bachelor's degree in business.
Okay.
So now I do sales through an insurance company.
Okay. And did you graduate 3 years ago before you
Yeah.
moved? Okay. Okay. So it's all coming together a little bit. And then I did want to ask, do you, this is kind of a harder question, but going back to your childhood and growing up, do you have a history of any physical, verbal, sexual abuse, anything like that?
No.
Okay. Okay. And then have you ever been in the military?
No. Yeah, I've never been in the military.
Okay. Um and then I also wanted to ask if you've ever been in any legal troubles at all.
Um, so I've never been in any legal trouble,
Mhm.
but I have been like to court before for like a custody battle. My ex-boyfriend, like I said, I don't have any kids, but
Mhm.
my ex-boyfriend and I, we had gotten a dog together.
Oh, okay.
Um, I had registered the dog as an emotional support animal, but when we broke up, he took the dog. And
Okay.
so I went to court because I was trying to get the dog back and trying to explain that I had registered it as an emotional support animal and that I really needed him, but
Yeah.
the judge ended up letting him keep the dog. So, but other than that, that's like the only time I've ever had to like go to court.
Okay. That must have been very difficult for you, losing
Yeah,
the emotional support, and it would have been very beneficial for you.
yeah.
Can I
So,
ask why you decided to register him as an emotional support pet?
well, at the time, I was still in college, and the apartment that I was living in, they didn't allow pets
Okay.
unless it was an emotional support animal.
Okay.
So I ended up registering him so that we can keep him.
Mhm.
Um, and like I said, my boyfriend and I, we had gotten him together, and then when we broke up, he took him. So it was just, it was sad because like I bought the dog, and I like we got him when he was a puppy, so he was like my baby, but
Yeah.
yeah.
That must have been a very difficult loss for you, though.
Yeah, it was hard. And I mean, I try to see him when I can, but my ex doesn't really like answer my text messages. So
Okay.
it's hard to like get to see the dog. So
Right. Yeah. And that kind of brings me back to another question because, you kind of lost, touch with your family over the years and you don't have your emotional support pet anymore because of this custody battle. You don't have, you're not with your ex-boyfriend. Um, However, you did come in today saying that you had a friend that wanted you to come in today. Can you elaborate a little bit more on your relationship with this friend that you have?
okay, the friend is actually one of my sorority sisters.
Okay.
Um, and I've known her for about 5 years. But she suggested that I come in because, like I said, I've been tending to isolate myself lately, more so just because I've been angry, and I think it's because like my sadness is becoming so much that it's turning into anger, and so
Right.
I'm just kinda like I don't want to do this anymore or like feel this way. I'm just annoyed, so I just haven't been responding to people's text messages, and I want to say maybe like 2 weeks ago, we were talking about something in like a group text message, and I left the group because I just didn't feel like being bothered. So they reached out to me, but I didn't respond, and so maybe like 5 days went by, and they just couldn't get a hold of me, so they got really worried.
Mhm.
Um, and I mean, I finally responded, but they suggested that it might be time for me to come to therapy because I mean, I understand that like they're concerned because
Mhm.
they were just scared because they couldn't find me because I wasn't responding. But yeah, so they were just a little worried and thought that I should come to therapy.
Okay. So they sound like a really good group of friends that you have.
Yeah, yeah, they're really good friends. It's just
And they're
some
back in Ohio.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. So they're not physically here.
no.
How did you feel when they suggested that you go to therapy?
Um, so I knew that they were right, but I was a little offended just because like I feel like this is my life
Mhm.
and they shouldn't tell me what to do, but at the same time I know that it's coming from a good place and that I ultimately know that I do need to come to therapy.
Right.
But I also felt like a little bit ashamed because I'm concerned that now people can see that I'm having a hard time and it's like noticeable, so I just don't like that.
Okay. If you could describe yourself to me before you were feeling these constant feelings of sadness and depression and isolation, how would you describe yourself?
I would say I was a pretty happy person. I was probably like 50 pounds lighter than I am now. Involved in like a lot of clubs. Um, very social. Um, and yeah, I just felt happier versus now. Like I said, I've gained a lot of weight, so I don't really go places because I don't really like the way I look anymore. Most of my clothes don't fit anymore, um, and I don't feel good. So yeah, that the person that I used to be is definitely not the person that I am now, and I
Hmm.
think that it just kind of makes it. I think it makes me sad also because I wish that I could be that person again.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
And that kind of goes into my next question. I wanted to ask you if, if there was like a miracle and you could wake up one day and be the person that you wanted to be, how would that look?
Okay. So that person would be happy. Um, that person would like wake up and excuse me, go to work. Um, I wouldn't say that I don't enjoy my job, but I mean maybe that person would probably find a little bit more fulfillment in what they do.
Hmm.
Um, that person would definitely not be as heavy as I am now. Um, I would definitely lose some weight. Just because, like I said, I'm having a hard time like finding clothes to wear at this point. Um,
Hmm.
and I mean, that person would feel like they look good because
Hmm.
when I look at myself, all I can think about is, wow, I've gained a lot of weight, and I don't feel attractive or like anybody would want me if I wanted to be in a relationship.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I feel like that person would definitely have more self confidence. I would have more friends like where I am now so that I could go out and uh, do new things and like explore the city that I live in. Because I mean, it's Las Vegas, and you would think that there's like always something to do, but
Hmm.
I mean, most of the time I'm just in the house.
Right.
So yeah, I just feel like I would be more social.
Right. And sometimes, especially in places like Vegas, it's hard to do things alone.
Mm.
So You really need that. We're social beings. We need to go out and experience things with other people. Not all the time, but most of the time. And, we're meant to like live our lives with other people. And you deserve that. And you do deserve to be happy, and you deserve the life that you want. And everything you described to me are goals that we can actually work on. They're all achievable, they're all logical, and we can kind of shift these logical thinking patterns, such as, when I'm feeling sad, I'm going to drink, into when I'm feeling sad, I'm going to go work out. You want to lose weight, we can implement maybe like a workout routine for you while you're in this therapy session, as a possible goal that you would like to set for yourself, um, to reach the ultimate goals that you would like.
Hmm.
hmm And I think right now for you is just finding the energy, because what comes with sadness and depression is just a lack of energy.
Yeah.
And do you have any ideas for yourself of what you may like to do to reach these goals that you just said? Like, for instance, becoming more sociable, losing weight, you want to find more fulfillment. Do you have any ideas of what you can do to reach these ultimate goals?
So like I said, I have a side business where like I do create clothes for people. Um, I I don't hate selling insurance, but I do feel like I would be more fulfilled if I could put more energy into like my business.
hmm
As far as losing weight, I know, like, I feel like I know what I need to do, but like you said, it's just like getting the motivation to actually do it
hmm
because I feel stuck in this place. And like I said, I just feel kind of hopeless to where I'm like, okay, well, I've gained this weight and I know I don't look good, but it's like, how can I lose it? And like, can I actually do it? If that makes sense.
Okay, well let's stay on this topic for a second, because there's some correlation here. You're also drinking a lot more than you used to, right? And
Yeah.
so that drinking is definitely adding on those calories. So, it could be like killing two birds with one stone, because I think it would be best for you to maybe decrease that drinking. And then with doing so, I think the weight loss will come, right? So that's an idea that we can incorporate
Yeah.
into
So
like,
that is a goal that I could try to implement, like not drinking as much and
hmm
like finding other ways to like deal with being sad instead of like drinking being my go-to.
hmm How do you feel about that? How do you feel about decreasing your drinking habits and possibly even quitting?
I think that I can recognize that it's a good goal. I'm just a little skeptical about like what I can do instead and like
hmm
if it'll actually work.
Okay. What about replacing that with working out? Would that be a possibility?
I think so. Like I'm not opposed to it. Um, but I've never really worked out before.
hmm
Because I used to be a lot skinnier in college, but it was more so just like my metabolism.
hmm
So I've never like actually planned out an actual workout routine. But I think that is something that I would like to explore, like maybe getting a
hmm
personal trainer because I don't really know like what exercises to do. So that could
Yeah.
probably.
And it's something that we can definitely, just an idea to explore. It's not anything, set in stone for you, just maybe an idea to throw out there, because exercising has been the one proven, like coping tool to help with the energy, and to also help with the better quality and quantity of sleep. So when you sleep better at night, you do have that energy. Um, and it's been the one proven thing to increase, like your serotonin levels, and it's very natural. So I think it would be very beneficial for you, because it not only helps with your medical, um, the medical factors, but also like the mental health as well.
Okay. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm definitely open to it.
yeah. And Also, I wanted to move forward with asking you what are your what do you expect from me as your therapist? What do you expect from me to do for you?
I think I'm really looking for somebody to listen,
Hmm.
but I also know that I'm gonna need some help with um, expressing myself also
Hmm.
because I've just been holding all of these feelings in, and like I said, I'm more recently um, isolating myself a lot more because the sadness is like starting to turn into anger. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, I really just need somebody to listen to me, and also just kind of help me with figuring out how to deal with these emotions that I'm feeling and like process it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And I can definitely do that with you and explore those feelings that you're feeling and kind of turning like maybe some illogical thought patterns into more logical ways of thinking and then moving forward in that direction.
Yeah, definitely.
And focusing more on, the biggest thing is isolation. And, that can lead to these symptoms of depression and sadness, and how to maybe work around that and help you, move forward in a better direction.
Hmm.
Hmm. Um, I do want to ask, moving forward, would you want to continue doing therapy with me?
Yeah, I think it will help. Um, so yeah, I do want to continue to try to see if it can work.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds really good. I think we had a really great session today. I got a ton of information. I want to thank you for opening up with me and being vulnerable. I know it's really difficult, and you don't really go to anybody to open up to open up. So I do want to thank you for that. And then I think moving forward, we can come up with some coping strategies to better help you go in the direction of feeling the way you want to feel. And, you know, yeah, going in that direction for you. Do you have any questions or concerns for me?
Um, no, not really.
Okay. All right. Then moving forward, we can meet on a weekly basis and then go from there.
Okay, sounds good.
It was really nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you too.